I hope you can hear me okay. You can see me all right. Put it into the chat. Let me know. Hope you're all well. Okay, got everything working. Hey, matey, how you doing? Give me a second, making sure I got everything right. Fantastic. Good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me again. Good to have you with us. Hey, KLE, how you doing? Just want to do a quick sound check, make sure everything's all good. The link is there for the Discord channel. If you haven't already, do make sure you join. Hey, Pips Apprentice, good morning. How you doing? How's everyone doing today? It is Monday, the 22nd of January, brand new week. And it is almost the end of the first month of the new year. Hey, Johnny Cash, good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Hey, Peter, how are you doing? Thanks, Erwin. Thanks for that. All right, one more minute and we shall get started. No big rush. No big rush today. Markets are quiet, relatively quiet, sitting there, not doing too much. Well, it's moving a little bit, but not too crazy. Hey, Ayakame, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, let's. Oh, that's right. That's just about to go get started. All right, let's get started. Thank you all for joining me again. If you are new to the session, do drop a message, say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. For all the regulars, a big welcome back. Good to have you again. Brand new week, like I was saying. Hope you had a good trade last week. Hope you had a good trading week last week. Any particular pairs you'd like me to look at, put into the chat, let me know. I can do that for you guys. And if you can help me out massively, do remember to help click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I know most of you are very good at that, but if you haven't done that, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe on whichever platform you are joining me on right now. Okay? And if you have any particular questions or anything to discuss, put it into the chat and let me know. With that, oh, my voice is going. Hang on a second. Oh, something's happening. Okay. With that, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this... Huh? Hang on. Yeah, I am. I should be. 22nd. Yeah, KLE. I should be live. I am live on TradingView. Yeah, I am live. It's just not showing my picture. It's just not showing my head. I just haven't got my camera going. All right. I am on TikTok. What am I on? I'm on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok as well. So I've got too many cameras running, so I just need to toggle between some of them. So yes, if you are joining me on TradingView, you should be able to hear me. Hey Goju, how are you doing? You should be able to hear me, but unfortunately I haven't got the camera going. right now. Yeah, okay. So quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as education material only. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. Your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. That's it. Let's keep going. Alright, so just let me know how did you guys go last week. Markets have been sitting right across, not doing too much. Hope you haven't. We did have many trades getting triggered from Friday, so haven't done too much. Hey Escano, how are you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. It's a new name, so good to see you. Hey Aisha, how are you doing? Good morning. All right, anyone has any particular trades that you got into and would like to share, put it into the chat. Here's your chance. Put it into the chat and let me know. All right. What we had from last week on Friday, right? Why I didn't do too much was because there wasn't a lot of news. We did see the CAD retail sales number pretty much as expected. At a negative range, we saw that drop. We said, you know, looking at the UK retail sales number dropping, hey, looks like it might do the same for the Canadians, and it did. It was a 0.7%. Expected zero came out at minus 0.2%, while core retail sales was 0.6%. Expected 0.1 came out at minus 0.5. All right. So core retail sales and retail sales number for the Canadians pretty much came out as we had expected. Escano says, I've been following you for a while, maybe a year. Wow, thanks for following for the year. Good to have you. Good to see that you're leaving a comment now. So good to have you on another account. Erwin says CAD and Euro had some nice trades. CAD had some nice trades. I did not get into, I was busy with something else, so I did not get onto the CAD or any trades on Friday, but CAD did move well. Pound dollar looked like it was good on hindsight, but would not have been a trade I would have looked at. But we can go into more details on that later on. Okay. Retail sales number for Canadians came out pretty much as expected, while preliminary UOM, University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, 69.7 was revised from 69.4. Expected 69.8 came out at a massive 78.8. Remember, I was telling you I was looking at it being that 70 range. If it broke above that, I was expecting that dollar strength to come back into play. But you see that at 11 p.m. when that news was released, zoom in a bit more here, right at about that point there, right? We saw that spike up and then after that started turning back down again. So dollar index, we were talking about this to some detail on Friday, where we saw that diamond pattern, expecting it to push down. It did not drop straight away. Okay, did not drop straight away, so we'll take that away. In fact, what it did, as we had kind of expected as an alternate scenario, is that it pushes up, right? It pushed up to about 103.50, almost 103.55 before pushing lower, right? Pushed up before pushing lower. So that kind of played to what we had expected, but did not drop as far as we thought towards that 102.90 level. Right? It came down to 103.11 and then sitting right there. So it got held at that 38.2 pip retracement level, sitting right there now. Okay. So that diamond pattern is done. Let's take that away. Okay, so I just want to clean the chart up a little bit and explain to you on the moves on the dollar index. And that's where we saw that release, push up, and then come back down on the dollar. So there was a lot of conflicting news in the news and impact, right? So we expected a stronger dollar there. Existing home sales dropped slightly, and yet we saw the dollar retrace down. I was saying that this is also because of that big move that we saw on the dollar through last week. So this was through last week. So we would not have been that surprised as it retraced back down. Okay. Now, adjust that back. Okay. Is gold going down? Looks like it. It does look like it. So gold is, right, tested, pushed, did not go all the way up. It came as high as 2039, almost 2040 before now retracing back down, finding that resistance turn support level. So we're watching what happens here. It has pushed down earlier, since earlier today, mainly because of that slight dollar strength pushing up. That's why we see gold dropping. Right now, if that sits there and pushes lower, then gold might bounce from here. We'll go into that a little bit later on. Good morning, Angel Case. How are you doing? Good morning, Create Genius. How are you doing? Asia is asking for US 100. We can look into that shortly. And thanks for sharing the live, Tiger. Really appreciate that. Now, with this, looking at the news again. So that was what happened last week. Today, right? Markets have been moving a little bit, pausing, moving a little bit, pausing. We can see that the main big movers here are the Kiwi and the Aussie dollar. Everything else pretty much flat because there's no major news for today. All right, no major news for today. The big thing to watch out for. So I think today is going to be a little bit consolidative. We saw the dollar index retrace back down. We see it sitting across. We might be looking at it bouncing back up. But the main thing for today is to prepare for tomorrow. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. The main thing for today is to prepare for tomorrow, because tomorrow, tentatively, between 10 a.m. GMT plus 8 to noon GMT plus 8, we're going to see the Bank of Japan release, the BOJ, Bank of Japan, release its policy rate, which is most likely going to stay at minus 0.1%. They're going to release the monetary policy statement, which is most likely, my view, I think that they're not going to change anything in terms of monetary policy. Together with the outlook, CPI might increase a little bit from 2.7 to 2.8. Press conference, I don't pay attention to because I don't understand Japanese. So the main thing what I'm looking out for tomorrow will be on the monetary policy statement to come from the Bank of Japan. We don't know exactly what time it will be released. We don't know exactly what time it will be released. It's usually between 10 to 12 a.m. Singapore time, GMT plus 8. Now, looking at the monetary policy report, why can't I click on it? Okay, there we go. This is the ones from last year. Now I want to go back to that one. So the one from December, right? Minutes of the monetary policy meeting. It's going to be a lengthy report, right? The main thing that I'll be paying attention to tomorrow. So this is going to happen at a time probably very early in the morning for you guys. I'm not sure whether you'll be doing this or be trading this news event, but the main thing that I'll be paying attention to will be, and this happens with all, you want to know what you're looking out for. When you're trading a news event, when it's released, you don't want to be, there's very hardly time that you'll be reading through the whole report. Let me just find it. It's very hardly that you have time to read through the whole report. The main thing I would be looking, wait, is this the right one? No, that's the minutes. Okay. That's what we want. That's what's going to be released. There we go. Okay, there we go. So the main thing that I'll be looking out for will be that it will stay at minus 0.1%, and also this number here, right? That it will, as necessary, or purchase ETFs with Japan real estate investment J REITs as necessary for upper limits of 12 trillion and about 180 billion yen respectively, and then also that it will maintain the amount of outstanding of CP at 2 trillion yen. Right, so I'm looking out for those two sections, whether they've made any changes to that. Apart from that, the other information is not likely to change or to impact on the yen too much. It's only whether they're going to adjust on their current Q easing policy of 12 trillion and 180 billion yen. Okay, and then also whether they're going to keep it at this minus 0.1% and the upper bound of 1% for the 10-year JGBs. So these are the main things I'll pay attention to. You know, I wouldn't be spending that much time reading about or that. In fact, through my years of trading the monetary policy report from the Bank of Japan, hardly ever read any of all that. The main thing is I'll look at that number, look at maintaining that number or maintaining that number there. And then after that, look at the keeping those numbers. Then straight away, I will flick over to the yen and see what's happening. Right? If they don't make any changes, it's likely that we're going to see the yen maybe strengthen a little bit or sit right across. If they do make some changes, we might see the yen push higher. Okay, so that's what I would normally do this time round. I don't think we're going to see any changes from the Bank of Japan. So most likely we're going to see the Japanese yen sit right across, right? Sit right across with no big changes, and markets are not. The main thing is that, you know, if markets are expecting it to change, if markets are expecting the Bank of Japan to implement some changes, we might see some strengthening of the yen. However, you know, this time around we're not expecting any changes, so it's going to sit there. Sorry, I'll rewind. If markets are expecting a change from the Bank of Japan, what would happen is before the news, we might see that push down. Okay, and then on release of the news and the Bank of Japan doesn't do anything, it's going to push right back up again. So that's if markets are expecting a change. In the current scenario, given that markets are not expecting any major changes to come from the Bank of Japan, I anticipate that it's likely to sit in this range and then maybe on release of the news push up a little bit but bounce around in that region. Okay, on the best case scenario, the most exciting case scenario is that the Bank of Japan does make some changes, it does tighten its policy, then we could see this drop, well, quite a lot lower, but I don't think this will be that scenario this time around. This is also supported with that news event where it says BOJ, from this is NASDAQ.com, BOJ on even keel in January, April onwards, it goes live. It looks like everything is hinging on April. CME, all right, we look at the CME again. Again, when that loads, right? I know we're not looking at big changes here. March, we're looking at a, you know, almost 50% chance, slightly more than 50% chance of no change, 45.4% chance of an ease. But April to May, we're looking at an 84% chance of easing. It's slowly pushing towards that April-May time zone. ECB is looking at the summer months, which is April, May, June time zone. Now we're looking at the Bank of Japan with their April time zone as well. So, looks like, as much as you might be sitting there thinking, oh, it's not doing too much right now. I haven't entered. I have some trades. I've had some trades this month, but I haven't been super crazy on my trade volume this month. I think that it's going to slowly pick up, especially as we head towards Feb, March, and April. Okay, so don't feel like you have to rush and force any trades out. With that, so that's the main thing to look out for today. Prepare for tomorrow's Bank of Japan series of news events. All right. Hey, Mane Fiberglass, good to see you. Good morning from Kenya. How are you doing? Erwin says dollar index seems weak on the daily charts. US pair seems to be telling the same story on the daily. Yeah, so we're looking to the dollar index right now. It does look like it's going to be pushing to the downside. So we'll get into that. Moho favor. How are you doing? Euro and dollar. We'll do that. Just catching up on some requests. Okay, so with that, now again, remember, no major news today. Main thing that we're looking out for is tomorrow's Bank of Japan news. Now, looking at the dollar index, Erwin was saying that on the daily it looks weak. Let's look at how the daily charts start. What did I do? I moved something. Okay. Now on the daily chart, dollar index pushed up. If you look at this on the bigger fib retracement levels, it came up to about that 50% level from this point. From this point also about that 50. We keep that there. Let's keep this because that's 50 there. Okay. And then I'll take this range as well. And let's see if anything plays out. Now this one's is gone already. Okay, we take that one away. So now we have that 50 there. It's pushed up. It's holding this level. It looks like it's pushing back down since Friday. Might see that weakness. Yes, so I would agree with you, Erwin, on that possible weakness. I've lost my box. Okay, there we go. Pips Apprentice looking for Diana and Jamil. Yeah, where are you guys? Hey, Pips Apprentice, I'm here. I'm here. Okay, so dollar index now. Looking at this. There we go. Okay, so we have 38.2 right there. Holding that now, looking that's going to test. So today being the 22nd, we're looking for dollar index to break below 103 to head towards, just checking my levels. There we go. There we go. That point there, I'm happy with that. 102.80. Okay. Okay, so what I'm looking for on the dollar with that recent push to the downside, small retrace or consolidation at this point, we're looking for it to push lower. What needs to happen on the dollar is it needs to break below. It needs to break 103 to trade, and then to trade down to 102.80. 80? Let me see. About 102.90. I don't see a big move there. Right? Why I don't see a big move is, hey, we just saw the news is not likely to have that big move down, or no big reasons to push it lower. So we're looking for it to break 103 to come towards 102.90. Now I would still say maybe it can get to 102.80. It's only if it breaks 103 and gets to 102.90, there's only a 10 pip move. I think it could get to 102.80, but remember that it is now still in that consolidation area. So it does need to break that point before we could see further downside. Okay. Hey, Atira, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, so I'm happy with that. Still looking at that weakness, possible weakness to come from the dollar index. Could it bounce back up? Maybe, but I would be happy to look for some of that move to the downside. We can look at the currency pairs first. Kiwi dollar. Now look at that. It's remained, so that trade that we were looking at, that setup that we're looking at, did not trigger. I'll move that right across for now. And you see that 23 is still there. I'll maintain this view. So we're looking at that dollar weakness coming down. So I would say that I'll still be looking for Kiwi to break 6140.20 to 45. I'll maintain that 6140.20 to 45 on the Kiwi dollar, relatively straightforward. While on the Aussie, you can see it pushed up, but this was early this morning. So this was a setup we talked about on Friday, right? How you should think of this is by Friday night, if this did not trigger, you would have cancelled the trade. So I hope none of you triggered this trade early Friday or early Monday morning, right? If not, you would have hit a stop loss of 20 pips. At this point now that it's sitting there and you can see this kind of channel pushing up. All right, you can see this kind of channel pushing to the upside, a small channel on the Aussie dollar looking like it's going to push higher. I drew this, but I don't know why it didn't save, is that we're most likely, maybe I deleted it, I'm going to see if that level holds. Okay, if that level holds, we're going to see the Aussie dollar do that. Right? I think that that would be fair, even if I extended that right across. You see, you maintain within that channel up towards the resistance. I wouldn't advise as a possible trade setup to the upside. I would say look for Aussie to get to 6650 and look for reaction at that point. Okay, which is our 61.8 retracement level as well. Hey Jamil, how you doing? Pips Apprentice was just looking for you. So we take those away and we look for that. Okay, we look for that to push up. So I would say that for the Aussie, we're going to look for reaction at 0.6650. Look for reaction at resistance. Right? I wouldn't do anything right now on the Aussie dollar. I'm going to see what happens as it pushes up. A contrarian view would be if it breaks, right? Because we're looking at this pushing down. Maybe a contrarian view, if the dollar pushes back up, then we can see this breaking down. Let's test that idea. So about, let me test this. 38.2 will be right there. So 6575. Stop loss about 20 pips. Take profit could go down to 50. Back down. We can consider that. You can. So generally, I'm anticipating that push to the upside, right? But if dollar strengthens and it breaks out of that channel to the downside, We might see that on the Aussie. Okay, I'll highlight that. Aussie, if we see DXY strength, then we could be looking to sell at 0.6575, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. Right, so main thing I'm looking is continuation to the upside, but if it does break, which could happen quite soon, break lower than 6575, 20 to 50 to the downside. Just watch out for that. Then on to the yen. All right, on to the yen again. That was this morning that it started pushing down. That trend line is done and dusted. Take that away. What you should notice here, okay, what you should notice here on the yen, we don't need all that. Okay, we can keep all that levels there, but look at this move, that push up, and then after it pushed up, it's sitting in that consolidation. All right, and that's what the yen, that's one of the characteristics of the yen, right? I'll show you, I think I've done this before. I'll show you examples where it pushes down and then it sits in a consolidation, pushes right down, sits in a consolidation, same thing down with a right horizontal move. This one, look, I'll draw this out. So you see that push up and then a consolidation right across before it breaks lower again. Okay, so this is a very common pattern on the, especially on the US yen. So right now it's doing that. Right, it's pushed up, it's sitting right across. We do have the Bank of Japan with their policy report to be released, monetary policy report to be released tomorrow. At this point, this is quite near, so we're at 147.74. To come down here, I'm just thinking, hang on a second, I would think of this, okay, with the yen tomorrow policy report, not likely to do too much on the yen. Dollar weakness is going to drag this down. I wouldn't do anything in this range, right? I wouldn't do anything in this range. What I would be looking out for instead would be if it breaks above 148.80. Above 148.80, you would have a good 90 pip move to the upside. Stop loss can be quite tight at 30 pips, right? So you're looking for it to break out or to the upside, or if it breaks down of this consolidation, so 147.60, I would go 30 pips and then, you know, down 110 to the downside. I would even go a bit lower here. 147.40, .50. I'll still do a 30 pip stop. So it break out that range to the downside, about 100 pips to the downside. Do nothing right now for yen. Okay, so that's what I would be looking at. Take that one away, keep that, take that away. I know that that's going to stay within this area for now. We can take that one away and I'll put in this. So that's the main things I'm looking out for in the on the dollar yen. Okay, it's not really a support. Sorry, I'm just going to be annoying and want to change that one. Okay, take that away. Okay, so it's in that range. Don't do anything unless it breaks out and or it breaks to the downside. So yen is either US yen, we're either looking to buy at 148.80, stop loss 30, take profit 90, or we're looking to sell at 147.50, 30 to 100. 147.50, stop loss 30, take profit 100. But remember, this is pending BOJ news event. Okay, so what you could do, right? Again, disclaimer applies, but what you could do is look to that kind of trades only tomorrow just before the news. You could put pending orders in, but only tomorrow just before the news. As I see the dollar pushing up, I'm referring back to the Aussie dollar again, looking for that to push down maybe, and then maybe break, close below that point, break lower. We could be looking to sell it down. Okay. Dollar index now pushing back up. I still wouldn't be too rushed into this. Just from this move, you see that, catch this one, 23 is right there, 50 is right there. It could come up and then push back down. So any particular news? Dollar struggles to retain. Look at that. 2 hours ago, Reuters says dollar struggles to retain gains. Option expires, bump yen up. But yet, now we're seeing the dollar pushing higher. So it could look a bit like that. Maybe, we'll see. But the main thing is we want to see it break below 103 first. Okay? Jamil says no trade on the US yen. I think you can still do a trade, not right now, but it needs to break out that area. Okay? Alrighty. Now, next up, pound dollar. Pound dollar came very close on both ends, right? Pound dollar came very close on both ends. Who was saying? Someone was saying, Mehdi was saying sell pound for scalp. I think you said it just, not about that one, but that push down, yes. So pound dollar, on Friday we're looking, if it breaks that point, sell down, did not close below, take that away. If it breaks higher, buy it up, did not do that either, take that away. You see that still maintaining, right? And that channel is still there. Now it does look like there is going to be a bit more downside. Any surprising news? No. Okay. So pound dollar 61.8 region is still holding, pushing lower. Now this is in that dollar strength scenario, looking for the pound dollar push down. You could be scalping it down like Mehdi is saying. If not, Jamil is saying check lower time frame. It's that channel. It's breaking out the channel. Yeah, just we need to see what happens at that point. Okay. So what I'm looking for is this point here. I would actually differ, maybe if it breaks down very similar to the Aussie, I would say that it could hit lower. Let me just do one more check. It could do that, break down from this point, 23.6, and could hit down to that point there. So what you could be looking out for is if it breaks out of that trend line, breaks below that trend line to 1.2685, stop loss 30 pips, take profit 40 pips. Not great. That's being very safe. Ideally, you would be looking at about that point, 1.2695. Stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. A bit risky. It's pushing down. I want to see it go below, so I want to see it do that. 1.2690. I'll do my stop a bit nearer at 20 pips. I take profit at 45, 46. I think that could be an option. Alternatively, it's going to bounce back up and then after that break. But we're still going to be holding that level. Maybe things buy it back up. If it bounces off this point, you can buy it back up. But I still see this holding, maybe holding prices a little bit. Right, so we might be looking at something like that. Oops, let me just try this. As that. I think short term may be a buy as it bounces, but I would be looking for that move. Okay, 1.2690, 20 to 47, 46. Pound, I would be looking to sell 1.2690, stop loss 20, take profit 47 to the downside. You could buy it up. I wouldn't be super keen on that, especially if that pushes up a bit. If that pushes down, yes, buy it up, but I'll be a bit cautious. Okay, I think that on dollar weakness, you have that Kiwi dollar to buy it up, you have the US yen to sell it down, you might have the euro dollar as well. Okay, so euro dollar, yesterday, on Friday, not yesterday, on Friday, we were talking about this. You can see that we don't need that channel, we can take that away. Right, it's now breaking above, or trying to break above that 38.2. So I like, in terms of buying it up, maybe I prefer this view on the euro. As it breaks above 38.2, you could be looking to trade it back up. My resistance is about, first one is nearer, one will be about there. Okay, so you could be looking at a move like that. Double bottom form, tested one time, come back up, break above that point, you'll be looking to buy it up. 1.0915. No, that's too far. 25 pips. I could even do that 70 pip with a hesitation at 1.0942. Okay, 1.0915. Let me do that. I see what you said there, Jamil. I'll come back to that shortly. I would say euro, we're looking to buy 1.0915. Was it 15? Yes, 25 to 70. Stop loss 25, take profit 70. We have a hesitation at 1.0942. 40 before that, so 4041 thereabouts. 1.0941. Okay, there we go. Hey, Daily Gaming, I never laugh at questions. I take all questions, well, I do laugh sometimes, but I have a question. Please don't laugh. I learned that don't counter trend with my trades. So is it right? And if right, on what time frame I don't counter, daily or hourly? Daily Gaming, it really comes down to what you're comfortable with. I agree. Best you can do, try not to counter trend. Follow the trend, stick with it. Not saying that you cannot counter trend, right? So I always like to do my trend following trades, make the returns, The trend is not going to happen all the time. There will be reversals sometimes. So with a profit level, then you can take on some counter trend trades if you're comfortable with. On which time frame, it really comes down to which time frame you are looking at, right? So in this case, look, we're looking at everything on H1 time frame. So I would say based on H1 time frame. If you're trading on the daily time frame, then based on the daily. Because if not, then you're always going to get confused if you mix and match between the different time frames. So I would stick to whichever time frame you are currently trading at. No hard and fast rule that it has to be following the trend on the daily or the hourly. That said, I would not go lower than the hourly time frame on going counter trend. Okay. Aisha is asking for the US 100. Yes, I will get that done. Let me just go through the list of the regulars first. So I hope I answered your question there, Daily Gaming, about the trend following, or when to trend follow, when to counter trend. And counter trend, sometimes you can also consider it when there is news events as well, right? Because news events can change the trend, so there might be a time when you start looking at counter trend. Pound dollar, Jamil was saying on the 5-minute there is a strong push up on the 5-minute. Yes, pushing up. So that's why I think it could push back up, test, and push back down again. So I wouldn't disagree. I do see that push. I know Jamil's probably half bought it up with a 20 pip take profit to the upside, and then if it breaks up, you scale in some more. I knew it. So Jamil just said, I mean, buy pound 12 pips and 25 pip profit. All right, your profit will be about that point there. Very good trade, I would say. Good setup for a scalp to the upside, based on the H1. Because when we do the live session, it's a little bit time sensitive, so we do it on the H1 time frame. Looking at it bouncing within this range, looking for it to break lower. I don't think, I might be proven wrong, but I don't think it's going to break past this upper bound of that resistance. Thank you, Jun. You solved my problem with a few words. No worries, Daily Gaming. I hope I can help. I'm hoping I can help you as much as I can. Okay, so we did Euro. Could that drop? Yes, it could, but I'll be looking for that push to the upside. I think it's going to stay within this range and hopefully push up. US Swiss franc. US Swiss franc push up, sitting in that consolidation. I'll maintain this view given that we think the dollar index could push down. If it does push up first a little bit, what you could be looking for, here's something interesting, is that it pushed up. All right, it pushed up here, and then very similar to the yen is sitting in that area. If the dollar index pushes up and then turns back down, then same thing on the US Swiss franc, I'll be looking for that move, which means that I could be looking at 0.86 below 0.87. Stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. Okay, so we're looking at that. US Swiss franc, we're looking to sell at 0.87, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. It's going to be choppy, right? I'm not super happy with the way prices are moving right now. So I've got the setups there, but I think that it's going to be a bit choppy, so we'll watch out for that. Then, like Erwin was saying, I think, the CAD, yes. CAD pretty much moved, so Irvin was talking about the CAD, pretty much moved as we had anticipated. The head and shoulder pattern played out with the neckline at 1.3480, so that's done. Take that away. It broke, so look at that. We say it's going to come down, test that neckline, bounce back up, and then break lower. It did that, it came down, tested, bounced a little bit higher than I thought, and then push right back down. Okay, so I missed out on this. I was doing something else. That's a good 30 pips to the downside. Take that away. Right now, and why it stopped right there, we can test and see that it held at about that 61.8 level. Right? It held right at that 61.8 level. Now looking like it's going to push lower. Let me see. Don't need this line. Take that away. We have our resistance. That's our resistance now. Push down. Our support is there. Dollar index anticipating maybe some weakness come back in. Comes down. Needs to break. Okay, so I wouldn't do anything here. Needs to break below 1.34. Where I would be looking to sell down. So 1.3385, stop loss 20, take profit again 65 to the downside. No, I'll do that a little bit more. I'll do that 25 and 65 with a possible hesitation at about 1.3347 or maybe even 1.3350. Okay, so that way would have it 1.3385. So 1.3385, stop loss 25, take profit 65, stop loss, 25, take profit 65. Daily Gaming asking, can you show your Bollinger Band setting? It's the same setting. So 20 SMA, standard deviation 20, no change. It's the same. Okay. And then on to gold. Right, so gold, we said, could come down and test and bounce. It shot straight up and retraced. Now pushing back up. That trend line is, we don't need that trend line. Right, we can keep it there, but it doesn't add any value. This, I'll take that away. Of that move down, yes, that makes sense. Bouncing back up, take that away for now. Don't catch this whole thing. 23 found support, and then let's look at some more levels. No, 23 is there. Okay, let me see one more level here. And then, so it went up, broke 23, found 61.8. Okay, so those are good levels there. 61.8 is a good level there that we've caught so far. Then came back down, bounced back off this support, which if you do that, you see 61.8, maybe even caught 50. There we go. All right, so it caught 50 right there. So now at this point, For gold, someone was asking about gold, you know, is it going to go lower? I think that what we're looking out for here is if the dollar does break lower, we're going to see gold bounce. If dollar pushes up, yes, we might see that drop, but I think a fair anticipation would be above what I'm looking at. Okay, if it stays above 2017, if gold stays above 2017, we could see it retest 2040 again. Because what it's done is that we've seen a big drop, bounce, retrace, it might bounce off this level and then back up again that way. Okay, but we want to see what happens at this support area. So gold, I would say that would have to stay above 2017 to, hey Lingopedia, great to see you too. How are you doing? Stay above 2017 to maintain bullish, move to 2040. There we go. Alrighty, there we have it. So those are what we are looking at. So we're looking for this to bounce off this point to move up towards 2040. Then on to Aisha's question about the US 100 breaking above the resistance, major, so it's an all-time high. Look at it on the daily time frame, right? So I'll clear this out just to show you. This was back in 2021, right? It was our resistance, now actually turned a support at 16,780. If I zoom back further, you don't see anything else, so it's an all-time high. Back to the H4 again, you see that pushing a lot higher and scaling massively to the upper side. Lingopedia is asking if you could also do a bit of a longer time frame analysis for a week or month. Not during these sessions, but yeah, I can start adding that in as a post on my TradingView profile. Right, so if you check out my TradingView profile there, do make sure you remember to subscribe or follow. Then yeah, I can do some longer term views as well. So at this point, with the way it's pushing up, we're naturally anticipating that dollar weakness is going to push this higher. When it gets to an all-time high. When it gets to an all-time high, that's where I start going, be super careful. Be super careful because it could, yes, it could continue higher, but any big retracement is going to be quite significant. Okay? And with that, then I would look out for also, because there are no reference points, there are no major reference points, so I'll look out for round number levels like the 17,500 level and then the 18,000 level. I think what could happen is a move towards this point, and then we're going to see a retracement back down again. Okay, there's a correlation, there's a very strong correlation between the index and the dollar index as well, and it's quite an inverse correlation. So, you know, if that pushes up, we might see that retrace, but I think it's got a good momentum to the upside. Correlations work, but not all the time, right? So there might still be a bit of a break between the correlation. I think momentum is going to see this push up quite strongly, especially towards the 17,500 level. Okay. I hope I answered your question there, Aisha, asking about the US 100. Anyone else with a question? Joanne asked about the gold, analyzing gold. We just did that. Hope you caught that one. Where is gold going now? Another question about that. Going to sit around this level, but needs to stay above 2017 to push up. And then on to, hey, Ju Marinas, how are you doing? You're most welcome. Thank you, Jamil. Alrighty, so with that, no trade now. We are still waiting for the dollar index to form somewhat of a decision on what it wants to do, and then we'll take it from there. So again, please remember the link is there for the Discord channel. If you haven't already, I look forward to seeing you on Discord, and then if not, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care now. Bye bye.